First Canto, 9th chapter, 18th verse. Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman Mohayan Maya Lokam Gudas Charati Vrishnishu. Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat Adyo Narayana Puman Mohayan Maya Lokam Gudas Charati Vrishnishu. O Lord Bhagavan, you are the original Narayana. Puman, you are the supreme enjoyer. Mohayal, bewildering, Maya, by your self-created energy, Yoka, the plans, Ulaha, who is inconceivable, Charati moves Vrishnishu among the Vrishni family. O Krishna, you are the original personality of God. You are the first Narayana. You are the supreme enjoyer. But you are bewildering everyone and you are moving like a descendant of a Vrishni family. So this is the topmost mercy which Lord has given to the Vrishni family, to the Yadavas, to the Vrishnis, that Lord moved like one of them, like one of their family members. Okay, Gajendra Sutta, read.
एष वै भगवान् साक्षात् आद्यो नारायण मोहयन् मायया लोकं गूढश्चरति वृष्णिषु. Translation and purport. Translation. This Sri Krishna is no other than the
Lot of disturbance is there, Prabhuji, from your side. Lot of disturbance is there. Krishna Priya, read.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam Mataji. Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshad Ajo Narayana Puman Mohayan Maya Lokam Gudhas Sharati Vrishnishu. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This Sri Krishna is no other than the inconceivable original personality of Godhead. He is the first Narayana, the supreme enjoyer, but he is moving amongst the descendants of King Vrishni, just like one of us. And he is bewildered us with his self-created energy. Perfect. The Vedic system of acquiring knowledge is the detective process. The Vedic knowledge is received perfectly by disciplic session from authorities. Such knowledge is never dogmatic, as ill-conceived by less intelligent persons. The mother is the authority to verify the identity of the father. She is the authority for such confidential knowledge. Therefore, authority is not dogmatic. In the Bhagavad Gita, this truth is confirmed in the 4th chapter, 4.2. And the perfect system of learning is to receive it from authority. The very same system is accepted universally as truth, but only the false arguer speaks against it. For example, modern spacecraft fly in the sky, and when scientists say that they have traveled to the other side of the moon, men believe that these stories blindly because they have accepted the modern scientists as authorities. The authorities speak, and the people in general believe them. But in the case of Vedic truth, they have been taught not to believe. Even if they accept them, they give different interpretations. Each and every man wants to direct perception of Vedic knowledge, but foolishly they deny it. This means that is misguided man can believe one authority, the scientist, but will reject the authority of the Vedas. The result is that people have degenerated. Here is an authority speaking about Sri Krishna as the original personality of Godhead in the first Narayana. Even such an impersonalist as Acharya Shankara has said in the beginning of this commentation on the Bhagavad Gita that Narayana, the personality of Godhead, is beyond the material creation. The universe is one of the material creations, but Narayana is transcendental to such material paraphernalia.
So here, Bhashya, Shankara Bhashya has been put for Bhagavad Gita. Narayana Paro Vyakta Andam Avyakta Sambhavam Andasyantas Tvemeva Loka Saptadvipacha Nidini. Lord is beyond the 7 islands, Saptadvipa. And Lord is Andam Avyakta Sambhavam. Though many andas emanate from the pores of Krishna, Lord is beyond everything. Andasyantastva ime lokaha. In this way, though Lord may appear in this anda, that means in this earthly planet or in this universe, but Lord is beyond this universe. Okay, read further.
Bhishma Deva is one of the 12 Mahajanas who knows the principles of transcendental knowledge. His confirmation of Lord Sri Krishna's being the original personality of Godhead is also collaborated by the impersonalists Sankara. All other acharyas have also confirmed this statement, and thus there is no chance of not accepting Lord Krishna as the original personality of Godhead. Bhishma Deva says that he is the first Narayana. This is also confirmed by Brahmaji in the Bhagavatam. Krishna is the first Narayana. In the spiritual world, Vaikunta, there are unlimited number of Narayanas who are all the same personality of Godhead and are considered to be the plenary expansions of the original personality of Godhead. Sri Krishna, the first form of the Lord, Sri Krishna first expands himself as the form of Baladeva, and Baladeva expands in so many other forms, such as Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Narayana, Purusha, Rama, and Narsimha. All these expansions are one and the same Vishnu Tattva, and Sri Krishna is the original source of all the plenary expansions. He is therefore the direct personality of Godhead. He is the creator of the material world and is the predominating deity known as Narayana in all the Vaikunta planets. Therefore, his movements among human beings are other sort of bewilderment. The Lord therefore says in the Bhagavad Gita that foolish persons consider him to be one of the human beings without knowing the intricacies of his movements. The bewilderment regarding Sri Krishna is due to the action of his twofold internal and external energies upon the third one, called marginal energy. The living entities are expansion of his marginal energy, and thus they are sometimes bewildered by the internal energy and sometimes by the external energy. By internal energetic bewilderment, Sri Krishna expands himself into unlimited number of Narayanas and exchanges or accepts transcendental loving services from the living entities in the transcendental world. And by his external energetic expansions, he incarnates himself in the material world amongst the men, animals, or demigods, or re-establish his forgotten relation with the living entities in different species of life. Great authorities like Bhishma, however, escape his bewilderment by the mercy of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Asyanuභావం Bhagavan Vedaguhyatamam Shivaha Devarshi Narada Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nupa. Asya of him, Anubhavam, glories. Bhagavan, the most powerful, Veda knows. Guhyatamam, the most confidential knowledge. Lord Shiva, the Narada, that is the great sage among the demigods, Narada, Sakshat directly, Bhagavan Kapila Nupa. So in this way, Lord Shiva, Narada, Kapila, they all know very confidently about his glories through direct contact. So to know about Krishna, it is again his mercy. The Bhishma Pitamaha is telling this. Bhishma Pitamaha is speaking this to Yudhishthira. That Lord is so merciful that he appeared just like one of us. Bhishma Pitamaha is not bewildered. Now he says even Lord Shiva, Narada, even Kapila, the expansion of Krishna, the incarnation of Krishna, they all know about the glories of Lord Krishna through direct contact. So they are all bhavas. Bhavas means they are all great souls. Yasyanubhavam, asyanubhavam. Bhava refers to pure devotees. Pure devotees, they know about the glories of Krishna. How they come to know the glories of Krishna? Because they perform pure devotional service. That is why this word bhava is very important. Bhava. Srila Prabhupada writes about this word bhava. Here, Bhakti Vidyabhushan also writes about bhava, anubhavas. Anubhavas means they know about Krishna. Anubhava also refers to he chooses to reveal to them. Krishna reveals. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayante. Krishna reveals himself to the devotee. The revelation doesn't happen because you have given so many classes or you have heard so many. Yameva isha vritatena labhyas tasyesh atma vritatanu Krishna says. Nayam atma pravachena labhyas. You may give 100 classes. You may be in the movement for maybe 30 years, going on giving classes every day, 10 classes, 6 classes. Nayam atma pravachena labhyas. To know Krishna, it is not through pravachan. Na medhaya na bhavna shrutena. You may be hearing the classes for many years. You may be having higher intelligence also. Now these are all not the qualifications to know Krishna. It is Krishna's mercy, prasada. Yam eva isha. Nunutate nulabhyas. Taseshatma vitatanuswam. Krishna says, to reveal my form, it is up to me. Krishna is Swarata. Krishna is completely independent. To whomever Krishna wants to reveal the form, it can be a small child also. An old man, he must have done so many pious activities, so much of devotional service. He may think that Lord should appear before me. You cannot command or demand. We just have to wait. Tattenu kampatam samikshama. So this Sthai Bhava, this is Anubhava, Sthai Bhava, is given by Krishna. This Anubhava is also to Yashoda, that also has been given. But Yashoda could not understand that Krishna is God. Like this Anubhava also was given to Arjuna. In the beginning, even Arjuna was not knowing that Krishna is God. That is why he treated him only like a friend and a charioteer. Take my chariot in between the two armies. So Krishna, it's up to Krishna to show whether he is God or not. But the highest form of devotional service is when he is controlled by prema. That is the topmost. Where he is controlled by prema, where he doesn't show that he is the controller. He doesn't show that he is controller. Even if he wants to show that he is controller, the prema is so much, the love of the devotees is so much that it surpasses the opulence. The sweetness surpasses the opulence. So all those things have been given. That how Krishna, he is the object of love and he is the goal of love. He is also the Ashray Tattva. Only he has to be taken shelter of. Okay, Yasyanubhavam, Anubhavam. Anubhavam has been described by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, Baladev Vidyabhushan, very nicely. Okay. Vasandani Prabhu read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thanks for the service. Asyanubhavam Bhagwan Veda Guhyatam Shiva Deva Rishir Nardha Devarishir Narada Sakshat Bhagwan Kapilo Nripa. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O King, Lord Shiva, Narada, the sage amongst the demigods, and Kapila, the incarnation of Godhead, all know very confidentially about his glories through discreet contact. Purport. Pure devotees of the Lord are all Buddhas or persons who know the glories of the Lord in different transcendental loving services. As the Lord has innumerable expansions of his plenary form, there are innumerable pure devotees of the Lord who are engaged in the exchange of services of different humors. Ordinarily, there are 12 great devotees of the Lord, namely Brahma, Narada, Shiva, Kumara, Kapila, Manu, Prahlad, Bhishma, Janaka, Shukadeva Goswami, Bali Maharaj and Yamaraj. Bhishma Deva, although one of them has mentioned only three important names of the 12 who know the glories of the Lord. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, one of the great acharyas in the modern age, explains that Anubhav or the glory of the Lord is first appreciated by the devotees in ecstasy, manifesting the symptoms of perspiring, trembling, weeping, bodily eruptions, etc., which are further enhanced by steady understanding of of the glories of the Lord. Such different understandings of bhavas are exchanged between Yashoda and the Lord, binding the binding the Lord by ropes, and in the chariot driving by the Lord in exchange of love with Arjuna. These uh, these glories of the Lord are exhibited uh, in his being subordinated before his devotee. And that is,
19.19.
huh?
Read.
These glories of the Lord are exhibited in his being subordinated before his devotees. And that is another feature of the glories of the Lord. Shukadeva Goswami and the Kumaras, although situated in the transcendental position, became converted by another feature of bhava and turned into pure devotees of the Lord. Tribulations imposed upon the devotees by the Lord's constitutes another exchange of transcendental bhava between the Lord and the devotees. The Lord says, I put my devotee into difficulty, and thus the devotee becomes more purified in exchanging transcendental bhava with me. Placing the devotee into material troubles means delivering him from the illusory material relations. The material relations are based on reciprocation of material enjoyment, which depends mainly on material resources. Therefore, when material resources are withdrawn by the Lord, the devotee is 100% attracted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Thus, the Lord snatches the fallen soul from the mire of material existence. Tribulations offered by the Lord to his devotees are different from the tribulations resulting from the vicious actions. All these glories of the Lord are especially known to the great Mahajanas like Brahma, Shiva, Narada, Kapila, Kumara, and Bhishma, as mentioned above, and one is able to grasp it by their grace. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So certain things are even hidden from Brahma. Muyyantiya Suraya. The sweetness of Krishna, the sweet dealings of Krishna with the Brajavasis, they are hidden from Brahma also. They know the opulence of Krishna. Yam manyase matuleyam priyam mitram suhattamam akaro sachivam dutam sauradada sarathim yam manyase matuleyam priyam mitram suhattamam akaro sachivam dutam Sauradadata Sarathim. Yam, the person, Manmasi, the thing. Matuleyam, maternal cousin. Priyam, very dear. Mitram, friend. Swattamam, ardent well-wisher. Akaro, executed. Sachivam, counsel. Dutam, messenger. Sauradat, by goodwill. Atha, thereupon. Sarathim, Saratya. Poking that personality whom out of ignorance only you thought to be your maternal cousin, your very dear friend, well-wisher, counselor, messenger, benefactor, etc., is that very personality of Lord Krishna. Now your Vishnu Pitama is saying to you, Vishnu, you may think him as a messenger, you may think him as a counselor, you may think him as a dear friend, well-wisher. Actually, Krishna, who is moving with you, is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the original Narayana. The first confusion is cleared. When Krishna says, speak lie, one should speak lie. There you cannot say if and but. When Krishna says, fight, one has to fight. Why I fought? I killed so many people. Krishna has told. Simple. Whatever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we just have to obey. Because it is words of Krishna, words of the Supreme Personality of God. When Krishna says, Tesham Satapitkaram, always be connected to me, one has to do that. Krishna says, Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja. We have to give up all so-called ritualistic activities, so-called dharmas. One has to give up and just surrender to Krishna. Man mana bhav mat bhakto. Krishna says, become my devotee. Just we have to worship Krishna. And Krishna says, Kama sita ruta jnana prapatyanti anya devataha. Those in the intelligence are stolen, they go to other devatas for asking material benefits. One has to accept it. That is why even if you go to the demigods, ask Krishna. Go and ask Krishna. Please give bhakti to Krishna. If at all you are going to a demigod, you should understand they are also devotees of Krishna. You don't have to ask any material things from any demigod. So whatever Krishna says, we just have to obey. Okay. Vimla, read.
Hare Krishna. Yam manyase matuleyam priyam mitram suhartatam akaroha sachivam bhutam sauhardetha sarthim. Translation: O king, that personality whom, out of ignorance only, you thought to be your material cousin, your very dear friend, well-wisher, counselor, messenger, benefactor, etc., is that very personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Purport: Lord Sri Krishna, although acting as the cousin, brother, friend, well-wisher, counselor, messenger, benefactor, etc. of the Pandavas, was still the supreme personality of Godhead. Out of his causeless mercy and favor upon his unalloyed devotees, he performs all kinds of service, but that does not mean that he has changed his position as the absolute person. To think of him as an ordinary man is the grossest type of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Sarvatmaha samadrishyo yadvayasyana hankrute tatkrutam mati vaishamyam niravaddasya narpache sarvatmana samadrisho yadvayasyana hankrute tatkrutam mati vaishamyam niravaddasya narpache. So Savarava Atmanaha is present in everyone's heart. Samadrisha is equal to everyone, is kind to everyone. Certainly, Advayasya of the absolute, Anahankrute, free from all material identity of false ego, Tatkrutam, everything done by him, Mati, consciousness, Vaishamyam, differentiation, Nirvadasya, freed from all attachment, never, Pachit at any stage. So he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is present in everyone's heart, he is equal to everyone. He is free from false ego of differentiation. So one must not think that, oh, Krishna is there on the side of Pandavas. That is how he is cruel to the Kauravas. No, he is equal to everyone. He is kind to everyone. Whatever he does is free from all material contamination. He is equibalanced. It has been given. He is freed from all attachment. He has no friend, no enemy. He has no distinction. It is free from all material contamination. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Sarvatma Samadrisho Yadvayasya Naham Kritahe Tat Kritam Mati Vaishamyam Narayadyasya Nakvachit. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Being the absolute personality of Godhead, He is present in everyone's heart. He is equally kind to everyone, and He is free from the false ego of differentiation. Therefore, whatever He does is free from material inebriety. He is equal balanced, purport. Because He is absolute, there is nothing different from Him. He is Kaivalya, there is nothing except Himself. Everything and everyone is the manifestation of His energy, and thus He is present everywhere by His energy, being non-different from it. The sun is identified with every inch of the sun rays and every molecular particle of the rays. Similarly, the Lord is distributed by His different energies. He is Paramatma, or the Supersoul, present in everyone as the supreme guidance, and therefore He is already the chariot driver and counsel of all living beings. When He therefore exhibits Himself as chariot driver of Arjuna, there is no change in His exalted position. It is the power of devotional service only that demonstrates Him as the chariot driver or the messenger, since He has nothing to do with material conception of life, because His absolute spiritual identity, there is for Him no superior or inferior action. Being the absolute personality of Godhead, He has no false ego, and so He does not identify Himself with anything different from Him. The material conception of ego is equibalanced in Him. He does not feel, therefore, inferior by becoming the chariot driver of His pure devotee. It is the glory of pure devotee that only he can bring about service from the affectionate Lord. Hare Krishna.
So it is the glory of devotee that he can bring about service from the affectionate Lord. तथ्यापेकान्तभक्तेषु पश्य भूपानुकम्पितम् यन्मे संस्त्यजतः साक्षात् कृष्णो दर्शनमागतः तथाप्येकान्तभक्तेषु पश्य भूपानुकम्पितम् यन्मे संस्त्यजतः साक्षात् कृष्णो दर्शनमागतः तथापि still ekantah mentioned Bhakteshu unto the devotees, Pashya, see, hear, Bhupa, O king, Anukampitam, how sympathetic, yet for which may mine, Asun, life, Tejataha, ending, Sakshat, directly, Krishna, the personality of God, Darshana, in my view, Agataha, has kindly come. So I am Ekantaha Bhakteshu. I am his unflinching devotee. That is why he is very sympathetic towards me. At the time of my quitting the body, Tejataha, Sakshat Krishna Darshanam, he has personally come. So unmotivated, undeviated devotion service. Savai pumsam paru dharma, yato bhakti radukshuje ahayati apatiyata, yatma suprasidati. Narayana was reading this verse when he started the class, important verses. This is the most important verse. Savai pumsam paro dharma. What is that paro dharma of a living entity? Yatho bhakti radukshuje. Just serve Lord who is beyond the senses. Adhukshuje. How? Ahayati apratihata. Without any motives, without any deviation, uninterrupted devotional service. Causeless, then unmotivated devotional service. To receive causeless mercy of Krishna, one has to do this. That's why it is given. Unflinching servitor. He is I'm an unflinching servitor here. Bhishma Pitama says, and is equal to everyone, and he has showed a lot of sympathy towards me. He has come directly before me at the time of quitting the body. So it is a fortune to have one spiritual master when a person leaves his body. His consciousness should be with his spiritual master. His consciousness should be at the lotus feet of Krishna. Ramanujacharya, when he unmanifested his master, he was completely concentrating at the lotus feet of Yamunacharya, his spiritual preceptor. So this is a fortune to even have the consciousness of the spiritual master who is actually a representative of Lord. Then one's life is successful. Okay, Adi Satyaki Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Just a minute.
Tathapyekanta bhakteshu
Tapyekanta bhakteshu pasya bhupanukitam janme yanme hasumstya jataha sakshat Krishna darshanamagataha.
Yanme sumstajatah sakshat. One line. Yanme sumstajatah sakshat. Krishna darshan.
Janme hasumstajata sakshat Krishna darshanamagataha.
Darshanamagataha. Okay.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yet, despite his being equally kind to everyone, he has graciously come before me while I am ending my life, for I am his unflinching servitor. Purport: the Supreme Lord, the absolute personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, although equal to everyone, is still more inclined to his unflinching devotee who is completely surrendered and knows no one else as his protector and master. Having unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord as one's protector, friend, and master is the natural condition of eternal life. A living entity is so made by the will of the Almighty that he is most happy when placing himself in a condition of absolute dependence. The opposite tendency is the cause of fall down. The living entity has the tendency of falling down by dint of misidentifying himself as fully independent to lord it over the material world. The root cause of all troubles is there in false egotism. One must draw towards the Lord in all circumstances. The appearance of Lord Krishna at the deathbed of Bhishmaji is due to his being an unflinching devotee of the Lord. Arjuna has some bodily relation with Krishna because the Lord happened to be his material cousin. But Bhishma had no such bodily relation. Therefore, the cause of attraction was due to the intimate relation of the soul. Yet, because the relation of the body is very pleasing and natural, the Lord is more pleased when he is addressed as the son of Maharaja Nanda, the son of Yasoda, the lover of Radharani. This affinity by bodily relation with the Lord is another feature of reciprocating loving service with the Lord. Vishmadeva is conscious of this sweetness of transcendental humor, and therefore he likes to address the Lord as Vijaya Sakhe, Partha Sakhe, etc. Exactly like Nanda Nandana or Yashoda Nandana. The best way to establish our relation in transcendental sweetness is to approach him through his recognized devotees. One should not try to establish the relation directly. There must be a via medium which is transparent and competent to lead us to the right path. Thank you, Mataji.
Next. Bhaktya Veshamano Yasmin Vachayan Kirtayan Tajan Kalevaram Yogi Muchyate Kama Karmibihi. Bhaktya Veshamano Yasmin Vachayan Kirtayan Tajan Kalevaram Yogi Muchyate Kama Karmibihi. Bhaktya, with devout attention. Bhakti Bhaktya. Mute your phone, Adi Satviki Mataji, mute your phone. Avesha, meditate, Manaha, mind, Yasmin, in pose. Vacha, by words, Yat Krishna, Nama, holy name. Kirtayan, by chanting. Tejan, fitting, Kalevaram, this material body. Yogi, the devotee, Muchyate, get release. Kama Karmi be from fruitive activities. So Lord appears in the mind of the devotee because of the attentive devotion and meditation, and by chanting the holy name, he releases the devotee from the bondage of fruitive activities at the time of his quitting the material body. So very important. While quitting the body, one has to chant the holy name of Krishna. Antakale chamameva smamatva kalevaram. Ya prayati samadbhavam yati nastitra samsheha. There is no samshaya in this. But Varadaraj Perumal says, for a devotee, he need not remember Lord at the time of quitting the body. In fact, Lord takes it as a personal responsibility to make the devotee come back to God, to come back to his house. That is how Krishna never makes a devotee forget him. He doesn't have to strive to remember Krishna. When you forget somebody, then only you have to remember that person. When you have not forgotten that person, then there is a question of remembering. You cannot tell your child, you cannot tell your mother, are you remembering your child? She will answer back, where I have forgotten. So in this way, whoever remembers Krishna, chants his name, automatically is released from all the bondage. Quitting the body. Okay, Kamalakshi Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam. Text 23. Bhaktya Vesha Mano Yashmin Vachayan Nama Kirtayan Yajan Kalevaram Yogi Muchyate Kama Karma Bhi. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. The personality of Godhead who appears in the mind of the devotee of attentive devotion and meditation, and by chanting of the holy name, release the devotee from the bondage of fruitive activities at the time of quitting the material body. Purport. Yoga means concentration of the mind detached from all other subject matter. And actually such concentration is samadhi, 100% engagement in the service of the Lord. And one who concentrates its attention in that manner is called a yogi. Such a yogi devotee of the Lord engages himself 24 hours daily in the service of the Lord, so that his whole attention is engrossed with the thoughts of the Lord in ninefold devotional service, namely hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, praying, becoming a voluntary servant, carrying out orders, establishing a friendly relationship, or offering all that one may possess in the service of the Lord. By such practice of yoga or linking up in the service of the Lord, one is recognized by the Lord Himself, as it is explained in the Bhagavad Gita concerning the highest perfection stage of Samadhi. The Lord calls such a rare devotee the best amongst all the yogis. Such a perfect yogi is enabled by the divine grace of the Lord to concentrate his mind upon the Lord with a perfect sense of consciousness. And thus, by chanting his holy name before hitting the body, the yogi is at once transferred by the internal energy of the Lord to one of the eternal planets where there is no question of material life and its commitment factors. In material existence, a living being has to endure the material condition of threefold miseries, life after life, according to his fruitive work. Such material life is produced by material desires only. Devotional service to the Lord does not kill the natural desires of the living being, but they are applied in the right cause of devotional service. This qualifies the desire to be transferred to the spiritual sky. General Bhishmadeva is referring to a particular type of yoga called Bhakti Yoga, and he was fortunate enough to have the Lord directly in his presence before he quitted his material body. He therefore decided that the Lord stay before his view in the following verses. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, interesting. In the following verse, he therefore desired that the Lord stay before his vision. That is stated in the next verse. Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam Kalevaram Yavadidam Hinomyaham Prasannaha Runalochalollasan Mukham Bhujo Dhyana Pataschaturbujahan Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pradikshitam Kalevaram Yavadidam Hinomyaham Prasannaha Sarunalochalollasa Mukhon Bhujo Dhyana Pataschaturbuja. O Lord, Sir He, Devadevaha, is the Supreme Lord of all Lords. He is the Supreme Lord of the Lords. Bhagavan, the personality of God, Pratikshatam, may kindly wait. Kalevaram body, Yavat as long as. Idam, this material body, Hinomi, may quit. Ahamai. Prasanna, cheerful. Hasah, smiling. Arunalochana, eyes red like the morning sun. Ulasat, beautifully decorated. Mukhambuja, the lotus flower of his face. Dhyanapata, the path of my meditation. Chaturbhuja, the four-handed form of Narayana, the worshipable deity of Bhishmadeva. So here, Bhishmadeva is saying, oh my Lord, who is four-handed, is beautifully decorated with the lotus face. His eyes is red like the rising sun. Please wait. Please wait till the moment I quit the body. Asking Krishna to wait before his view. Just wants to have vision of Lord and then leave the body. Okay. Neeraj Prabhu, please read. What happened? Mute yourself. Unmute.
Yeah, unmuted, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, Danvas Pranam. Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshataam Kalevaram Yavadidam Hinomyaham Prasannahasaruna Lochanollasa Namukham Bhujo Dhyana Patha Chaturbhuja. May my Lord, who is four-handed and whose beautifully decorated lotus face, with eyes as red as the rising sun, is smiling, Kindly await me at that moment when I quit this material body. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Bhishma Deva knew well that Lord Krishna is the original Narayana. His worshipable deity was four-handed Narayana. But he knew that the four-handed Narayana is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. Indirectly, he desired Lord Sri Krishna to manifest himself in his four-handed feature of Narayana. A Vaishnava is always humble in his behavior. Although it was 100% certain that Bhishma Deva was approaching Vaikuntha Dham just after leaving his material body, still, as a humble Vaishnava, he desired to see the beautiful face of the Lord. For after quitting the present body, he might not be in a position to see the Lord anymore. A Vaishnava is not puffed up, although the Lord guarantees his pure devotee entrance into his abode. Here Bhishma Deva says, as long as I do not quit this body, this means that the great general would quit the body by his own will. He was not being forced by the laws of nature. He was so powerful that he could stay in his body as long as he desired. He got this benediction from his father. He desired that the Lord stay before him in his four-handed Narayana feature so that he might concentrate upon him and thus be entranced in that meditation. Then his mind might be sanctified with thinking of the Lord. Thus, he did not mind wherever he might go. A pure devotee is never very anxious to go back to the kingdom of God. He entirely depends on the good will of the Lord. He is equally satisfied, even if the Lord desires him to go to hell. The only desire that a pure devotee entertains is that he may always be in rapt attention with thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord, regardless. Bhishma Deva wanted this much only, that his mind be absorbed in thinking of the Lord and that he pass away thus. That is the highest ambition of a pure devotee. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Ichamrityu. His benediction is given by his father. That is how he can choose his time, but he wants Krishna to be there before him. And he can completely concentrate on the lotus feet of Krishna. Sutuvacha Yudhishtiras Tada Karanya Shayanam Sharapanjare Apracha Dvidhan Dharman Rushinam Chanushunvatam. Sutuvacha Yudhishtiras Tada Karanya Shayanam Shara Panjare Apruchat Vividhan Dharman Rishinam Chanushunvatam. Sutta Goswami says Yudhishthira that Karanya, hearing, Shayanam, lying down, and Sharapanjare, the bed of arrows, Aprucha, asked Vividhan, multifarious, Dharman, duties, Rishinam, of the rishis, and Anushlotam, hearing after. Maharaj Yudhishthir, after hearing Bhishma Deva, speaking in that appealing tone, asked him, in the presence of all the great rishis, about the essential principles of various religious duties. The question which Arjuna asked to Krishna, Karpanya dosho pahata sabhava puchhamitvam dharma sammoda cheta. I am completely bewildered about the matters of religion, about the matters of my duty. So, yashryasyat nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadi mam tvam prapannam. I have completely taken your shelter. I have surrendered unto you. So please describe to me about the matters of religion. Now here, the same situation now. But this is only the difference. This is after the war. That was before the war. This is after the war. But if you see, the question is the same. I want to know about the various religious duties. I am completely bewildered. Yudhishthira Maharaj sits near Bhishma Deva, and Krishna intentionally wants Bhishma to speak the transcendental knowledge. Narayana read.
Hare Krishna. Suta uvacha yudhishthirastadhakarnya shayanam sharapanjare apruchhadvividhan dharman ऋषीणाम चानुशृण्वताम. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sutta Goswami said, Maharaj Yudhishthir, after hearing Bhishma Dev speak in that appealing tone, asked him in the presence of all the great rishis about the essential principles of various religious duties. Purport. Bhishma Dev, speaking in that appealing tone, convinced Maharaj Yudhishthir that he was very soon passing away. And Maharaj Yudhishthir was inspired by Lord Sri Krishna to ask him of the principles of religion. Lord Sri Krishna inspired Maharaj Yudhishthir to ask Bhishma Dev in the presence of many great sages, indicating thereby that the Lord's devotee like Bhishma Dev, although apparently living as a worldly man, is far superior to many great sages, even Vyasadeva. Another point is that Bhishma Dev at that time was not only lying on a deathbed of arrows, but was greatly aggrieved because of that state. One should not have asked him any question at that time, but Lord Sri Krishna wanted to prove that his pure devotees are always sound in body and mind by dint of spiritual enlightenment, and thus, in any circumstances, a devotee of the Lord is in perfect order to speak of the right way of life. Yudhishthira also preferred to solve his problematic questions by asking Bhishma Dev rather than ask anyone else present there who was seemingly more learned than Bhishma Dev. This is all due to the arrangement of the great wheel carrier Lord Sri Krishna, who establishes the glories of his devotees. The Father likes to see the Son become more famous than himself. The Lord declares very emphatically that worship of his devotee is more valuable than the worship of the Lord himself. Hare Krishna.
Okay, we'll stop here. Any questions you can ask. The next is a big purport, where Bhishma Deva is explaining about the four Varna ashramas and the occupational duties, and those things have been given. Till 31st verse, how Bhishma Deva is giving transcendental knowledge has been given. Then afterwards, from 32 verse, Bhishma Deva is completely now focused in meditating upon Lord and praying to Lord. These verses actually are spoken on the day of Sankrant. That is the day 15th is Sankrant. Try to read Bhishma Vacha from there. These are the verses when Uttarayana starts, Dakshinayana ends, Uttarayana starts. Bhishma Deva is focusing and glorifying Krishna. Okay, any questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I'm a bit confused about these two statements of Bhishma Deva. He called himself unflinching devotee, and he also says that Krishna should appear as Chaturbhuja. So these are the 2 points. I'm a bit confused, and I don't. If you would please kindly clear that confusion.
So he wants to say that I have done unflinching service, though he is there on the side of Kauravas. His love for Krishna is always there. That is why he says, I am an unflinching devotee of Krishna. Even though I may be there on the side of Kauravas, my love for Krishna has never deviated. This is one thing. And then I want to see the four-handed form of Krishna so that he can show to the whole world that Krishna, who is moving in the family of Vrishnis, is not an ordinary person. He is not just an ordinary messenger, So Lord's opulence has to be shown. The devotees want to show the Lord's opulence so that people will know that he is not praying to some ordinary person with his some mundane sentiments. He is praying to the Supreme Personality of God.
That's a very good point, Mataji. Yes. But unflinching, I'm still a bit doubtful because because if you love,
Unflinching means my mind is not deviated, even though I was on the side of adharma. My mind is not deviated. That is what he wants to show. He wants to say. It is not that now I am thinking about Lord when all the Kauravas are dead. No. I was an unflinching, I am unflinching, I will be unflinching. So I'm always an unflinching devotee of Lord.
so that must have been a very painful situation for him to be against, to fight against the Lord's.
Yeah. It was a painful situation. But
Very
still
big.
he desired to see the Parthasarathi Swarupa of Krishna. So when Bhishma is throwing the arrows,
Right.
Krishna is remembering gopis of Vrindavan. Now just see, Bhishma is there on the other side to make Krishna remember the Madhurya Prema even at the time of war.
Wow.
Okay. Any more
Thank you.
questions? Who else?
Mataji, when is our just finishing after this? We'll have our exam.
Let me complete first this chapter, and after 1 week will be exam. I'll just give 1 week only, 10 days, not more than that. So from now on, we study nicely. That is why I'm taking just 7 verses so that you can revise it in 7 days. 14 verses, 2 verses per day. Revise nicely in 10 days. Let me finish first. They're all beautiful verses. 7, 8, 9 chapter. Yes, Daya Sagar Prabhu, you have any doubt?
Thank you, Mataji.
Narayanas. No? Your hands are up now. Speak.
I have a question about verse 18 and 19. Is it that still, if Krishna is described as inconceivable, so, and 19 verse said that, did I understood it properly, that devotee can know Krishna even if he is inconceivable? Inconceivable.
I'm not understanding this word. What you said?
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. We cannot conceive Krishna.
Inconceivable. Okay, inconceivable. Yeah, Gudha, inconceivable. Krishna can be understood only when he reveals. That's what I said. When he wants, he will reveal himself. He is Gudha. He is the most secret, Guhya. Guhyatamam Jnanam. But that Jnanam can be understood only when he bestows the mercy. That's why he has given him. He is inconceivable. At the same time, the same confidential knowledge were known to Lord Shiva, Narada, Kapila.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I ask?
Yeah.
Mataji, in verse 19, names of 12 Mahajanas are taken. And in that, one of the name is Kumaras. Is this same Kumaras who are that 4 in number? Or it is different Kumara?
4.
So then Mahajan becomes 15, no? Then how it is 12?
They are considered as one unit.
Kumaras are considered as 1.
1 unit.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
There is a beautiful shloka as well, Prabhuji, for that.
Yeah, please.
Beautiful verse as well. So it is Brahma. So starting from Brahma, so Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumaro, Kapilo, Manu,
Prallado,
Janako, Bhishmo, So this is last.
Pallado Janako Bhishmo Balirvaiyasakirvayam.
Balir Vaiyasaki Vayam. Balir Vaiyasaki Vayam. So Swayambhu Narada Shambhu.
Kumaro Kapilo.
Shambhu. Amma,
Tell that she knows the verse.
Yeah, bolo.
Come here.
No. Swayambhu Narada Shambhu.
Kumaro Kapilo Manu.
Kumaro Kapilo Manu. I'm sleepy today.
Prallada Janato Bhishmo Balirvaiyasakirvayam. So who are all the 12 Mahajanas? Swayambhu, that is Brahmaji. Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, then Kumara, Kapila, Manu, Swayambhu Manu, Prallada, Janaka, Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Vaiyasaki, that is Sukadeva Goswami, Vayam, Yamaraj. Okay.
Mataji, she wants to share shloka.
Come, tell a shloka.
Anjananandam Viram Janaki Shokanashanam Apishtaram Vande Lanka Bhayankaram Ullankya Sindho Salilam Yashokavanni Janakatmajaya Adaya Tenaiva Dataha Lankam Namami Tam Pranjaliranjanayam Anjaneya Mahipathalananam Kanchanadikamanaya Vigraham Parijata Tarumulavanam Pavamananandanam Yatra Raghunatha Keetanam Tatra Kutamastakanjalim Bashpavati Paripurna Lojanam Mayatim Namadarakshasantakam.
Manojabam Marutatuల్య Vegam Buddhimatam Varishtam
Patatmasham Vanaredhamukhyam Sriramadutam Sharanam Prapadye.
Sita Mata ki jai. Now full mood of Ayodhya opening. Jai Ho.
Jai Ho.
Kusum Mataji, you have any doubt? No doubt. Okay. I'll chuckle. What is this dress for her today? I'll chuckle.